evening for everyone joining us live. And good time, whatever time of the day it is for those of you who are catching us on the rewind. Welcome to Earworms. Tonight we're going to have some fun. We're going to play one of my favorite Star Trek movies. Well, we're not going to play the movie. We can't. We're going to be talking about the movie, doing some slides and some excerpts. It's one of my favorites, Star Trek 4, The Voyage Home, affectionately known as the Star Trek movie with the whales in it. And I remember, I was basically born at a time where I was a little too young to see Star Trek the Motion Picture in theaters. And so my first movie in theaters was Star Trek II, The Wrath of Khan, then A Search for Spock, obviously, and then The Voyage Home. And those three in a row just like, I loved it, especially since, Spock came back, as a kid, that's just almost like too much for you. So anyway, four was kind of like climax in that whole three movie set. And I remember it was probably maybe a year or two after the movies when they were on VHS, but it was before Star Trek V came out. I got a Christmas present that was all four of the movies that were released by that point. And I watched all four of them in one day. So this season, this time of year is a time of year when we like to revisit Star Trek. And in fact, my wife and I are going through the entire original series looking for musical instruments there'll be an upcoming show where we're going to basically talk about Star Trek instruments and maybe have a little tournament so that the chat can pick their favorites. But anyway, tonight we are on Star Trek IV, The Voyage Home. And as we do love the music here on Earworms, we will be talking a little bit about Leonard Rosenman, who was the composer who did the score for Star Trek IV. Now, the score for the film does not stand out prominently. It was basically, this film focused more on the acting and the scenes and the kind of like the different skits that they did, because it was more of a humor associated film, and some great memorable scenes and lines and stuff. So we'll be taking a look at those, but we will highlight the score where we can. The main title was very good. So I think we're going to stop talking so much now, and I'm going to go into stealth mode here. I am crossing the Terminator into night. There we are. And let's see if I could hit the wrong video this. Let's see if I can hit the right video this time in introducing my wife, Psyche Opera, otherwise known as Liza Sejido. Hello, lady.
Hello. Hey, I was telling the chat that I think my first movie theater experience was Star Trek V. I didn't know that your first movie theater experience was The Wrath of Khan.
Well, I remember I'm 9 years older. So that would have something to do with it. And
well, yes, I understand that. But hey, Scott. No, I'm saying it's interesting that both of our first theater experiences were the Star Trek movies.
Oh, I'm saying that was my first Star Trek movie in theaters today. So,
oh, okay. Well,
I don't know what my first theater experience was. It could have been that. Is either that? No, I think it was Clash of the Titans.
Okay, that's
the early '80s version with Burgess Meredith in it and everything.
I haven't seen it. Haven't seen it.
Yes, I've shown it to you.
Have I?
Yeah, you've seen it.
Oh, it's that dementia popping up again. I don't remember.
Well, it's got the Kraken in it. That's kind of like claymation sort of Kraken. Whatever. Anyway,
I
let's
must have
not delay
fallen
him.
asleep.
Let's not delay him too long here. We've got some. We've got ourselves a man who knows his logic.
Yes.
Mr. Mike Gorley.
Here I am
Mike.
once
You've got
again.
you've got an accidental mention on, but a helpful mention on B sides on Friday night.
Oh,
Really?
yes. Yes,
Yes,
Mike.
they had Stu Penzo on as a guest, and he was trying to remember the name of some guy that releases music videos. They're a little bit odd, and he got the name wrong. And he said Mike Gorley, and the guys there, Jay is on the panel, and so's Adam. They're like,
Uh-huh.
"Oh yeah, Mike Gorley from Earworms, yeah." And he's like, "I think it's Mike." Well, it's like, "Oh."
Yeah.
It's like they said he makes some weird music videos, and they're like, "Yeah, that's him." But it turns out it was like somebody named Mark Gormley. So
Oh, so it wasn't me.
no,
No.
but when you and I think we will play a little bit of it so you can see. You'll be glad it wasn't you.
Oh, okay. I was going to say, who's stealing my weird videos? Come on now.
No, this is wrong kind of weird.
No.
So anyway,
Okay. Hail,
so
Scott.
yes, Scott, thank you for joining us. That's why we love him so much. All right, so we have here. I think we're going to jump right into slides and get going here. First of
Yeah.
all, we are musicians, so we do focus a bit on the music. Leonard Rosenman. Earlier this week, I had it spelled wrong. It was I dropped the N. It was Roseman, but it's Leonard Rosenman, and he composed the score for the film. And he has a rather interesting background to him. He studied with Arnold Schoenberg, who's
No
most famous
way.
for
Oh.
spearheading 12-tone music, where you use all 12 chromatic pitches in different orders and so forth from a matrix that you create. And it's the kind of music that sounds, to a lot of people almost random because there's no tonal center, there's no major minor sonorities that really kind of give you that good feeling that tonal music does, where you feel like this pull and push and tension and release and things. It's different. But he studied with Arnold Schoenberg, also studied with Elliott Carter, who was another
Wow.
composer that was pretty modernist in nature, and some of the films that he did, which we're going to look at briefly here, were quite different than Star Trek 4 as far as the musical vocabulary that was being used. And so, for example, if I can get the clicker here, we're going to talk about some of the other films that he did. Two interesting selections here.
Wow.
Yes, East of Eden and Rebel Without a Cause. So
That's
some
a
James,
hop, skip, and a jump to the past.
yeah, some James Dean action going on there. In
Yeah.
fact, an interesting story was James Dean actually visited him one time and basically tried to arrange piano lessons with him, which I think they did do. So James Dean wanted to learn piano and went to Leonard Rosenman to see if he could get lessons. And that's where this kind of got started.
Wow.
Dean put in a good word for him, and he was able to get the score for these films.
I have to go back and I haven't watched those in a long time, and those are two completely different movies.
Uh-huh.
Everybody knows James Dean for Rebel Without a Cause, but the other movies he did are nothing like that.
Mm. Yeah.
I'm trying to think of the name of the other movie he did before he died. He only did what, three or four?
Yeah, I think that third movie, Rosamund didn't do the score. The producer or whatever really just wanted somebody else for it for the vision that they had. But we're going to hear in a bit because we're going to hear a little bit of some of his other scores, just a little bit, because I know we're excited to get into Star Trek 4 here.
Yes.
But we are. But we'll still play a little bit of that because there's some other interesting films here that he did. Beneath the Planet of the Apes and Battle for the Planet of the Apes.
There you
So
go.
now these I don't remember as well. I have to probably look at them again and remind myself of the score. But so that was some science fiction that he did there, and also in addition to the film we're doing tonight, Star Trek 4, he also did the score for The Lord of the
Lord of
Rings,
the
the
Rings.
animated version. The animated version.
Really?
Of course,
Oh,
Howard Shore did the Peter Jackson, trilogy. Um, but he did the animated version. Now, this animated version of Lord of the Rings is a little bit odd.
Yes.
And I think it's generally considered that way. It was like, it was part kids movie, part art filmy thing done in an animated way with some silhouetting of rotoscoping and stuff of actual people, and it was bizarre. Um,
is it better than the Star Wars Holiday Special?
yeah. I think it's better than that. But the score. I listened to some of the selections from the score this week, and quite interesting. So let's do this because I like to keep things moving along here. We're gonna go and listen to some of the selections of Rosenman's work. And so I have his YouTube music channel called up here.
There we go.
And I assume you're seeing it now?
I don't think so.
Uh, no, it doesn't. Oh, that's because I'm in the... Here we go. There we are. So let's see what we got here. It's not showing the list at the side that I was using before. Let me see. I don't normally. Oh, okay. Let's do this. Let's just go down here and say see more, if you don't mind. All right. So we can hear a little bit of East of Eden. Interesting here. So just to get an idea of his work, we will be hearing the main title for Star Trek 4 when we start the film a little bit. So let's just play some other stuff. Okay, so I'll pause it there so we can move along. Folks can check out anything that they enjoy here on their own. But just some samples here. I thought that was very pretty, very straightforward, and kind of like a memorable theme that I think would probably work very well for the film. Now, let's do a little bit of Lord of the Rings here. Now, this one's going to be a little bit No, I don't think I'm going to do that one. I think, let's see. Let me see if I can find the Mines of Moria. I listened to that before. Um, Where are you, Mines of Moria? I guess I don't have to find that. Oh, here it is. I did. And I think I will play a little bit of Mithrandir, which is the name that the elves gave to Gandalf. Got a little bit of a children's choir in it. Okay, I think that's enough of that. But there you go. A little taste of Leonard Rosenman's work. But I do encourage folks to look it up. Pretty interesting stuff. Liza, were you about to say something?
No, I just was thinking about, I don't know how different that part of the score was to what you first played. And usually within a film, except in Lady Hawk, you you kind of, the character of the music could change drastically, but it still feels like it's by the same composer of the same, played by the same ensemble. And here it's just kind of weird.
Well, I guess yeah. Whenever you bring a children's choir out like that, it kind of
Well,
like
you have the opening. To me, what you first played, a light bulb went off in my. It's like, what was Schoenberg's opera? Vartong. It's like, man, he sounds like his teacher there, and then all of the sudden, you get a children's choir with bells and
well, and when we hear
harpsichord.
the main title for Star Trek 4, you'll see, wow, it's vastly different than both of these. He was very versatile, obviously.
Yes, very versatile, but in the Lord of the Rings, versatile within the movie.
Well, hold on here. I mean, the score is probably one of the last things to really be concerned about in the animated
Oh
versions
yeah,
of Lord
yeah.
of the Rings.
There were many things.
It was pretty
Yeah.
bizarre.
Yes. No. The film was in itself an eclectic disaster in the visuals as well. So, but yeah,
I'll play a
Yeah.
little more history of the ring. How about that? So that would be playing, I guess, according to this, when they were doing the background story of the ring, which I remember kind of vaguely was like silhouettes of
The
people like
rotoscope
fighting.
thing,
Yeah,
yeah.
they're fighting and stuff, and then when you get into the animation, it's kind of jarring because you have this kind of like rather jovial looking Gandalf with a plump nose and everything, and it's like, ah.
Mm. But but even within, like, that was a cool part of the score. That's
Yeah,
cool. But that in itself, it's like out of character with what the movie opened with, which was more Schoenbergian, and then you have something more early Stravinsky, and then you jump into like kids' music
kids choir with harpsichord and
with
orchestra.
harpsichord and bells, like Christmas music. It's like,
Yeah.
why? And that's it. So I don't know. The visuals were all over the place in the film, and so was the music. But maybe he
That's why
was.
it worked, I guess, because
I don't
the
know.
film was all over the place.
Well, I was telling. I think it was Eraserhead that that's probably why the score wasn't very good, because the film itself wasn't. He didn't have much to work with, but Eraserhead has his own opinions. He has an interesting opinion. I'll pop it up here. Let me.
Okay.
Uh, uh, okay. Yes. He says, Psyche, at points in the score, he's chanting his own last name in the background. Can't blame that on not having a lot to work with. Dude just has an ego. Yeah.
Really?
Yes.
You mean Rosenman?
I'm guessing. I mean, he is the composer of this
Well,
film.
yeah.
Yeah.
So, wow.
Yeah.
Well, that's you. I may vaguely remember hearing that. But I wasn't sure what he was chanting. It was,
It
yeah, I
was
heard some chanting. Yeah.
yeah.
Well, I'm not going to play it now.
Oh.
Probably
Let's get,
subliminal.
Yes,
Evil.
subliminal.
yeah.
You shall remember my name for all time.
Well, he kind of got outshone by many other composers.
Well, the thing is that not to take away his achievement with Star Trek 4 score. I do like the score for that. Everything about that movie. I love everything about that movie.
Yeah.
And it's not just because I'm a Trekkie. I love everything about that movie.
Hell, there.
The score was reserved, though. Like I was.
It needed to be, I think.
Yeah. Because
For that movie, it was not your typical Star Trek movie. And I think if you would have flowered it with too much music, that would have taken away from it. So honestly, I think the music was in proportion to the movie.
Agreed. Yeah.
And speaking of which, we have our slides ready. I think we should launch ourselves
Yay.
into the movie. Now, Liza, would you do me the favor of reading off the? This is the first thing you see. I guess you would say the foreword to the movie.
Yes. Well, Eraserhead. Yeah, composers have egos. Speaking as one. The cast and crew of Star Trek wish to dedicate this film to the men and women of the spaceship Challenger whose courageous spirit shall live to the 23rd century beyond. Wow, it was during
Yes.
that time.
Yes, it was. I'm
Wow.
going to actually, let me look up here. I think it was
Mhm.
85 or 86 that this film, let me just double check. Um, Star Trek 4, is it the number 4? Star Trek. No, it's not
Here we
Star
go.
Trek.
Get to feel old.
Yep. Yep.
Yeah, I'm looking for it and I'm slow because, let's see. Yeah, there it is. Star Trek 4, The Voyage Home. They put it in Roman numerals. So, okay. And let
They
me
were
see the
all in
year.
Roman numerals.
Yeah, 1986.
86.
On
Wow.
IMDb, it's saying 86. Yeah, about right. Van Halen 5150, around that time. And, yeah, so
Well,
probably
that
was
would have
like,
been a poor choice for the soundtrack.
Yeah.
hey, hello, babe. That was in
You saw what
Spaceballs.
happened to the punk guy. Come on now.
That was in Spaceballs.
The punk guy?
No,
Was the punk
no,
guy
the
listening to
opening.
anything that was popular at the time, or was it
Okay,
just a song
Uh,
for the film?
we're really getting confused. All right, all right. First things
no, we're
first.
not confused. If they
Since
were
you were
on the bus, there
since
was
you
the punk.
mentioned, I know, but I wasn't talking about that. I was mentioning Spaceballs because Good Enough from Van Halen 5150 was in that film. Uh,
Oh, okay.
yeah, when they were at that
All right. I'm
space
in
bar
your
at the end.
world now.
Okay, but yes, no, punk. The guy was playing some punk music, and I don't know. Maybe it was Leonard Rosenman. I don't know.
Well,
Um,
what was that album about? I don't know what you're talking
we
about.
are going to hear that. We are going to get. I mean, this is going to be two parts. We have to do this in two parts, but tonight we will be getting to the bus scene with the punk rocker, and so we'll get to hear that. Now, I just wanted to check though the date on the film just to make sure. So yes, that Challenger explosive that was a big deal. I think that was 85, and man, wow. And so that's a very nice dedication there.
It was.
Um, and then of course it's Paramount, and Paramount also felt well they need to show you their logo in three colors in addition to the mountain.
Mm.
So a Gulf Western company. Hmm. Does that mean it was an oil company? I don't know. Whatever. Okay. And then they have to put their name again. Um, just make sure you don't forget that Paramount Pictures does this. All right. And then a Harv Bennett production. Now, I know that that was a little bit, to a lot of other Star Trek fans, especially some of the folks at Mr. Brown Alliance, that if you don't know about the Brown Alliance, that is the stream that often makes this stream a little late because we start right after them. Um, but a lot of great Star Trek fans there. And I know this one tends to be less of a favorite than maybe like Star Trek 3 and 2, the more serious films.
I
And
prefer this one over The Wrath of Khan.
well, no, I have to put it this way. It depends on the mood. This one is definitely more of an enjoyment film. The Wrath of Khan film is more of a, it's a serious story, and it was a great film. I mean, it's really sad ending, but great film. Ricardo Montalban was fantastic as Khan, and
It was great. This
yeah,
one's better.
This one is better. I agree, Mike, for
I,
sure.
I'm
For
just saying
sure.
it's like comparing apples and oranges.
Is it
That's the difference.
though? Is
Oh
it
Is
yeah,
it
I can't.
though?
Like I'm not gonna score something that's like a good feeling movie versus one that's dramatic and stuff. I'm not gonna try and compare them.
This one
Because
had everything.
It did.
It
alrighty,
was the accumulation of what Star Trek had worked for decades.
Yes. Yes. Yes.
okay, we should move on. Um,
Agreed, Mike. Agreed.
Just trying to get in
Leonard.
the spirit of Mr. Brown's thing there. They were getting kind of animated, so Maybe that's
Okay.
what people.
Yeah,
Maybe
we
that's
need,
what people want. We'll get
yeah,
our ratings up.
yeah, we need
Yes.
more arguments. Yeah.
Yeah,
So yeah, it was a Harv Bennett production, but a Leonard Nimoy film. The
another
producer
reason
and
it was so great.
yeah, well, it was great direction in this. Especially considering he's in it in a lot of the scenes, but he did a great job directing it. There we go, Star Trek IV: The Voyage Home, and then the list of names that all of a sudden
There's
arise.
Bill.
Yeah.
William Shatner's still alive. I believe he's
Yeah.
91, 92, something like
Wow.
that. Leonard Nimoy no longer with us. And DeForest Kelly also no longer with us. Actually, the only two of the main cast that are still alive is Shatner and Walter Koenig, who plays Chekhov.
I thought George
Oh
Takei's
no,
still.
yeah, he's
Yeah,
still alive. Yeah,
Yeah,
he's
we
still
still
alive.
have Sulu.
Yeah.
yes.
Yeah, he. That's true. How could you forget? Well, I usually ignore him. I guess is why.
What?
But
Oh, we loved him in Avatar.
well, yeah, as a voice
Uh,
actor, his work is good.
Well, the animated, the original animated
Yeah,
series.
we're talking about
Not
the last Airbender.
yeah,
Avatar.
the last Airbender, not the blue
Not
people and
yeah,
the
not the blue people. Smurfs dances with wolves, and yeah. There we go, Walter Koenig. All right, so yeah, there's three of them still alive. And Michelle passed 2 years
Scott.
ago. I had to look this up.
yes.
What? We were in trouble?
No,
or something?
Scott's laughing. It's like make sure you get the specify which avatar you're talking about.
Yes.
Yes.
And then even then, you got to differentiate between the last Airbender film and the animated
Oh
series.
yes. Oh
And
yes.
now there's a new.
Yeah.
They like put out a new Avatar: The Last Airbender thing
I'm curious about that one
again,
though.
and they keep
Yeah.
missing. And the thing is, you can't really do it. That original animated series is it. I mean,
It is it.
it has all the elements together. All the chemistry is there. You can't really recreate that in live action.
Oh, mister, you just gave me an idea. Okay, so
Uh-oh.
you know how we're doing a tournament for Star Trek instruments? We should definitely do a tournament for the Last Airbender animated series instruments.
yeah.
You know how many weird instruments that they made up for that?
yeah.
Oh, Mike,
And-
have you seen this series?
no, I don't believe I have. What?
Oh, Mike.
It's
Mike,
called,
you would like
it's
it.
called Avatar, subtitle The Last Airbender.
Airbender.
But it's the animated series from the early 2000s.
Yeah, not the Shyamalan movie and not the
Well,
you
you
know,
know who produced the Shyamalan movie?
who did?
Kathleen Kennedy.
Of course. Forget that one. Not that one. We have to send him a screenshot so when he goes looking for it, he knows
He gets
what
to-
to look for. Yeah.
Well,
Did you say Avatar: The Last Airbender?
Yes, but the original animated series, not the movie. Or the
That's what it's
movies.
showing me on Google. I'll have to look at that a little further later, but I got it up.
Yeah,
Cool
I mean, it is
beans.
animated series, and it is kind of for kids, but there's a lot of deep concepts in it that are deep, that an adult can enjoy. We watched it for the first time a few years ago, and we enjoyed it.
Oh my gosh.
You had to get over some of the silliness a bit, because, yeah. But it was a great story.
Eraserhead certifies our opinion. The Last Airbender is
right.
pretty banging.
Okay. All right.
Well, anyway,
It's three seasons.
Let's pay attention to our Mr. Mark
2005.
Leonard here.
Yeah. Early 2000s thing.
Yeah.
Okay, I'll look at it later,
Cool beans.
but I found it.
Awesome.
Mark Leonard, as Sarek, but
The
we
first
noticed-
Romulan.
Yes, he was
Yes.
also the first Romulan in Star Trek. Going back to the original series, it was called The Balance of Terror, I believe, was the name of the episode, and it was basically the first time that the Federation. Well, I don't even know if they were called the Federation at that point. The whole
They
term
haven't decided
Federation
yet.
seems to have come up later. Yeah, but anyway, it was the first
No, they
time
were
that
called the Federation.
in not well. At some point in one of the early episodes, they were talking about Space Command instead of the Federation. I think the term Federation wasn't exactly used in season one yet. But anyway, uh, we're splitting hairs here. Sarek was the first Romulan, and it's the first time human beings saw Romulans. And notice that they look a bit like Vulcans.
Exactly like Vulcans until they decided to change Romulans in the next generation.
Then they did something where they were once the same, and Vulcan split off because they
Well,
didn't want to have
in that
feelings.
in that episode, they did kind of touch on that a little bit because Spock did mention, if I'm correct about
Yeah, he
their
did.
origins,
Yeah,
these
he did.
people
Yeah.
are very aggressive, and so there
Hmm.
was like that already started in that episode. But anyway, that is interesting bit of trivia. Mark Leonard, who
Yeah,
plays Sarek, was a Vulcan, and now he's Spock's dad. Now, Jane Wyatt as.
Spock's
Amanda.
mom.
Yep, Amanda, Spock's mom.
Oh, okay. I was like, Amanda? What? Oh, okay. Yes, indeed. And then we have some more names here. People want to remember, point out anything there. I don't really know the names too much. And then we do have
John
some more
Shook.
names. What did you say?
John Shook was the Klingon ambassador.
Yeah, great job there. I love the way the guys speak.
Didn't have a big role, but he was there.
Vulcans have long been known as the intellectual puppets of the Federation.
That's right.
Excuse me. Robin Curtis as Savick. She was in a recent fan film. I forget the name of it. Maybe someone in the chat can remind me. But there was a fan film that came out recently, and they did a CGI Kirk, just kind of like a little brief thing, just almost like a memorial of what happened after Kirk died. Obviously, that was in Generations, and I don't think that was a great decision doing it that way in Generations. But anyway,
No, they should have done some. Yeah, I
well,
was disappointed with that
yeah,
part.
Kirk
of
always
Generation.
said that he was going to die alone. He just somehow knew, and there they made him die in Picard's arms. Come on, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, anyway, Robin Curtis was in that fan film. Savick. She unfortunately was only briefly in this film. Just a brief goodbye.
You know, I like this Savick better than Wrath of Khan Savick. To be
Kirstie
honest with
Alley.
you. Yeah. Like this Savick was more. I don't know. She convinced me that she was like a Vulcan.
Well, most of it was in Star Trek 3. That's when she got to.
Yeah, with the search for Spock. Yeah, and yeah, I think she makes a better Vulcan than Kirstie Alley.
Well, Kirstie Alley was a bit cuter, I think, at that time. Whatever. That's not important. All right, let's move on. And Catherine Hicks as Jillian. So that's the marine biologist. And yeah, she did a good job.
Did an excellent job.
She did a great job.
She did an
Executive
awesome job.
consultant Gene Roddenberry.
That name sounds familiar.
Yeah, kind of the creator too. There we go, Leonard Rosenman.
Didn't his son did the last Star Trek thing that I haven't seen yet? Haven't kept up on it here recently, I guess.
Roddenberry's son.
Roddenberry's son.
Well, I haven't kept up with anything past like Star Trek Enterprise. Well,
I didn't even finish. I didn't
there
even
was
finish
one
Enterprise.
One exception. We did get. Your parents did buy us the DVD for Picard season 3.
Oh,
So
well,
we got
don't
to.
spoil it. I only saw season one of that. I'm way behind on TV. I just haven't watched a lot of
Look,
TV.
Well, in my, I
well,
don't know.
here's the thing. Here's
In
the
my
thing.
opinion, I think you could skip season 1, season 2,
Yeah, yeah,
just
you
watch
could
season
skip
3.
all of the other seasons if they piss you off, Mike, and just do the last one. The last one is wow.
Third
It's
season? Well, I already saw the first one. So
well,
you're
like
saying skip 2 and go to 3.
if they're
Well,
if
if you liked season 1,
yeah.
then I guess you'd probably be fine with season 2. Not my cup of tea. I'm
It was
gonna
a little slow.
well,
The third
Okay,
is
it was a lot slow.
definitely the third is definitely was a wow for me. It was wow. I was
I think
surprised.
I've watched the first couple seasons of Discovery on Paramount.
I agree, Bayona.
yeah. Discovery, I'm not going to see because I've seen too many reviews on it that it's like, nope, 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 nope.
Look,
It's different.
Yeah.
Well,
I
like I said,
am
I obviously it's not that enthralling. I haven't watched any
no.
in a while, so
Doesn't
Alright.
feel like Star Trek, and neither did the reboot movies. They didn't feel like Star Trek. I saw the first one in theaters, and I was pissed off when I left.
Yeah,
And
the alternate
I was
timeline
like,
and
it's hard to
Vulcan
get
gets
used to
blown
different
up.
characters.
Well, no, it's like an alternate timeline, and Vulcan gets destroyed. And I mean, it would be fine if there were new characters, new stories. It was like taking like a different version of the original
agreed,
cast
Eraserhead.
and changing the original story by saying, "Oh, we're in an alternate timeline, haha! So we can do whatever we want now with the." And it's like, no, 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 no,
It
no, no,
didn't
no.
feel like Star
Leave
Trek.
it alone.
Yeah,
Leave the
no.
Well, and then they
histories
went
alone.
against George Takei's suggestion on the second. Well, not a suggestion. He asked them not to do it, and they did it anyway,
Well, I would agree with him on that.
Yeah.
which was very tacky.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, he's right. Gene Roddenberry didn't write the character as gay. He didn't want him to do it, and they did it anyway. It was very short, but it was
Well,
pointless. It was absolutely pointless.
and Takai, I mean, I guess you should respect his opinion on that because he is gay,
Discovery. So
And he says no, Sulu wasn't. He's an
yeah,
actor.
he wasn't written that way, and that's yeah. I thought it was classy,
Yep.
quite frankly. But anyway,
All right, well, we're gonna
Leonard
get through this
Rosenman,
film
Peter
tonight.
Berger. It's almost as bad as the Monty Python credits.
Ay, ay, ay.
And now for part 2.
Production designer. All right, yeah, we could probably go faster on some of these. I just always put these in because people should have some credit and stuff.
Move
and
along.
moving on. Based on Star Trek, created by Gene Roddenberry.
Ew.
That's one thing they have to live. There we go. We have
There
Leonard
we go.
Nimoy and Harv Bennett again. We need to mention them multiple times.
Gosh.
All right. Well, Harv Bennett.
And then there
can do
was
it
a
all.
movie.
Yes.
And once again, it's just so no one forgets, Harv Bennett was producer as well as being the producer. Directed by Leonard Nimoy. All right, good. I think we're done. All right.
Number 1.
And
Yes. You have
All
a
right,
number
everybody,
one.
wake up.
what? I have a number 1.
You have a number one.
Number
A
1.
clip. A clip number 1.
Oh, shit.
Uh,
I was like,
All right, if we're going to be technical, it's a 0-1.
yes.
oh, we do get into double digits. All righty. I'll get that locked and loaded. Yes, we are going to hear the main theme because this is, of course, Leonard Rosenman's contribution. And I will say, though, at the end, this theme is played again a little bit differently, a little more involved, but it was the right feeling for the end of the film. Or at least, when they land in San Francisco Bay there, that was like beautiful music for that because they're all just playing around, slapping around in the water and stuff. All right, so let's let's do this. I'm going to have to leave our condom. After all, we are listening to music, so here we go. This is going to be the main title, just the music. I have reduced the opacity on the on our fair use spot condom here. And here's where it gets unique.
Awesome. The music is epic, Leona.
Da-dee-da-da, da-dee-da-da, da-dee-da-da-da-da. All right, I don't think we need to play the whole thing. It's actually coming to an end there anyway, but there we go. That's the main theme. Sounds like,
He redeemed himself with this score.
yeah.
Yeah.
No,
He
it's
did.
appropriate to the movie.
It's very Trekky.
Yes. Alrighty. Now, I am... I had my controls for a minute there, and then they went away. Here we go. So let's progress onward. What we see in the distance there is the probe coming, which is a cigar that has a tractor beam on a ball, and that's basically what it is. It's the cigar probe in search of whales. And so anyway, we see this is the Saratoga, the USS Saratoga. There's the captain on the right, and on the left is a white-haired guy. Got an interesting look there. I think the uniforms from these movies, from the original cast movies, I think were... Now, I know there are some, people that probably disagree, but I think the uniforms were probably the best ones because they kind of looked like military uniforms, you know what I mean? So anyway, they were kind of like seeing something coming in, some probe, and they scanned it and stuff like that, but they didn't get affected by it yet. And it switches here to San Francisco Federation headquarters. And yeah, they're watching some Klingon TV. And there we go. They're watching an excerpt from Star Trek III, The Search for Spock, when some Klingons come aboard the Enterprise, and boom!
Boom!
Oh, man.
Choi Chu.
Christopher Lloyd says, "Get out of there!" So, yes, we lost the Enterprise, but we got Spock back, at least.
That's right.
And there's some of the Federation gallery there watching. And there he is, the aforementioned Klingon ambassador who it says, "There's the murderer, James T. Kirk." There on the left is, I assume, the Federation president yet.
Yes.
And, that's the title that was used, president. He's not a prime minister, he's a president. And it's the Genesis device. And, the Klingon argument is that this Genesis device is a weapon, and the Federation wants to use it on us. And this is, and it's like, I don't know. Basically, you're going into a Federation court and you're pretty much telling the Federation, you guys want to kill us. This is a weapon that you wanted to use on us and all that stuff. I don't know how well that's going to go over in a Federation court. But anyway, there we see.
I don't think it did.
No, it didn't. And we see in the background the planet is being reformed. And there we go. So, and then he's like basically trying to rest his case here and say that he was a murderer. He destroyed a ship of Klingons. Of course, he left out a whole lot about, the Klingons just kind of starting it. But anyway, he's about to be reminded soon by Sarek, who comes in not only the first, what do you call it, first Romulan, but also Spock's dad. There we go. So he comes in to make the case, expressing that the Klingons drew the first blood in this conflict. And is it not correct? I forget all the arguments, but he just makes a few, accurate statements. And Klingon's not happy because he feels like, well, your son was saved by Kirk. Oh, but he started off with the real winning line, the real winning argument that Vulcans are well known as the intellectual puppets of this Federation. Yeah, that's really going to do well in a Federation court. But I don't know. I guess
Sticks and stones.
He was just there to vent, I don't think he was really thinking he was going to win the case. But anyway, it seems like most of this talking was really for nothing, because then the president says, as soon as we get to it, that, we're going to be basically, we have some charges against James Kirk, and we'll be handling this as an internal matter, basically. So he's got all these counts that he has to stand trial for, stealing a ship and disobeying orders and all that sort of stuff. And so, yes, Kirk is in trouble with the Federation, but no, we're not going to hand him over to you guys. And Klingon's disappointed, but I mean, what do you expect? What do you expect? And
gives him the finger. Ooh.
At least it's the index finger. Basically, well, he's just saying.
Could be the Klingon finger.
Yeah, it could be. It could. That could be their poking gesture. I don't know. But anyway, basically, there will be no peace between our two planets so long as Kirk lives. And
setting up for number 6.
Yeah. And there's more of the gallery. I thought it was great to see these folks. Obviously some Vulcan monk there on the left. And three beings in that. I'm not sure what that is, but it looks like it's straight out of the Star Wars cantina. Okay, so we move along. So yes, he walks out with his cool robes. But the costumes are great. And segue to Vulcan, and we have a number 2.
Yay!
Yep, we have. In this, I remember I wanted to catch a little bit of music in the segue, and see if we could get a little bit of film in too, if we can. Sneak it in there. Sneak it past the goalie. All right, here we go.
Captain's log, stardate 8390. We're in the 3rd month of our Vulcan exile, and it was Dr. McCoy with a fine sense of historical irony who decided on a name for our captured Klingon vessel. And like those mutineers of 500 years ago, we too have a hard choice to make. Dr. McCoy?
Aye, sir.
Mr. Scott?
Aye, sir.
Uhura?
Aye, sir.
Chekhov?
Aye, sir.
Sulu?
Aye, sir.
Let the record show that the commander and the crew of the late Starship Enterprise have voted unanimously to return to Earth. face the consequences of their actions in the rescue of their comrade, Captain Spock. Thank you all.
All righty there. So, I left a little film in there. The Bounty. We saw that film recently because
Depressing. Yeah.
Jay Goodwin recommended it. The Bounty, starring Mel Gibson and
Anthony Hopkins.
oh yeah, I was going to say Hannibal Lecter, and yeah, I forgot his name, and so
It's hard to separate him from Hannibal.
yeah. Well, this was before then, but
Are you not recommending that movie?
No,
it's
it
a
is.
good one.
It's a good movie, but you have to be in the mood for it. It's very depressing.
Oh, okay. Gotcha.
Yeah.
Yeah. So anyway, yes, they I guess would be mutineers as far as the Federation's concerned. So anyway, everyone's agreeing to go home and take the consequences. They're gonna stand together because there is loyalty among a crew that has served together for so long. And so Scotty does mention that they'll be ready to leave in about 24 hours. He said the difficulty at this is that learning to read Klingon is hard.
Yes.
Beautiful line there. I don't want to attempt a Scottish accent. But I forget what they were talking about here. My memory is like Swiss cheese. But yeah, basically it was, I don't know. I forget what McCoy and him were talking about, but he takes a glance. I think it's like, you know, Kirk was feeling, you know, a bit emotional that people are willing to, you know, stand by him in this, and you know.
Oh, back
McCoy gives
to
some
a
advice.
slide ago.
Oh yeah.
No, because yeah, my recall is very slow too. But Scotty was saying, well, Kirk was asking him, okay, how, you know, I forgot what Kirk said, but Scotty says, well, making repairs is easy, but reading Klingon, that's hard.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. I kind of said that, but I just didn't want to do the Scottish accent because I would not do a good job. But I mean, here I just forget what he's saying with McCoy, but McCoy is always
We're
providing
talking
good
about
counsel.
Spock.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so
And then
there
they
we
look
go.
up and there's Spock.
Yes.
There he is.
And there's
Watching
Spock.
him.
And back to Kirk. I did like every camera, you know, every change of camera angle here. Well, anyway, Spock needs to go into this thing here to make sure that his memory's doing all right. And it's a hell of a lot better than mine, and I haven't even died yet. So,
Do you know how you feel?
How do
Well,
you
we'll
feel?
find out.
How do you feel?
Well, he's getting tested on all sorts of things, quantum mechanics and all this stuff. And I think it's cool because this is 86, and it was cool seeing kind of like these screens like this.
Yeah.
And some of it's typing, some of it's voice answer. I forget what is this, like, is it a Klingon mummification glyph or something like that? I almost had, when I was a kid, I had it memorized, but
What, the machines lines too?
yeah.
Oh, gosh.
Although some of it you can't, it gets so fast that at some points you can't completely understand it. Correct. And it's like, so it can occupy the space of its pursuer.
Correct.
Yeah, just kind of drag and drop it in place. Man, not hard. All right. So he's going through all these questions, a lot of them really hard, really difficult. And then he gets stumped at some point. Oh, no. I didn't get there right away. Some of these graphics were just cool. You know, I remember playing games that looked like that. And then,
How do you feel?
Yeah.
how do you feel? And it's insistent. It was asking him over and over, how do you feel? And then,
There's Mom.
Spock, What's the matter?
I do not understand the question, Mother.
And then she says, "You're
You're half human. The computer knows that.
as my son. You're half human. The computer
Oh,
knows
that's right.
that."
That's right. That's right.
And yeah, they have a discussion about feelings, and she does mention to him that this is an important part of him because his friends came to rescue him because they felt that he, the one, was more important than the many. They would be the many, he would be the one, and they sacrificed in order to bring him back.
Most illogical.
Yes,
Humans are most illogical.
They are indeed.
They are indeed. Yeah, it's a shame she had so few lines, but I guess you can't really work her into the plot. So yes, that is it in a nutshell. And we are through our first stack of slides, I believe. So before we get on to the
Boy, that
rest
jumped
of the
ahead.
film.
Yeah.
Oh, no.
Yeah. Oh. Oh no, chat. Protest, please, chat. Protest.
I got to poop.
We haven't done the reliable AI animal intelligence for a couple weeks. It's been a little bit.
She has pointy ears at
I
least.
didn't want to
Why?
bring it up with the flute wizard because I wasn't sure how to work that. And
He
No, don't do that with the
no.
guest.
No. That will cut the vibe.
Sorry, guest. Could you hold on 15 minutes while we do AI?
yeah. Well, anyway, and then last week, the Star Wars Holiday Special was bad enough that I just couldn't make it worse.
We
so.
couldn't
All right,
make it
so here we
worse,
go. Is this a creature from Star Trek, or is this an AI generation?
Dun dun dun.
I'm going to ask Mike because I know Liza knows the answer to this already.
Oh, I see. Well, I should be looking at this on a bigger screen.
Okay.
Yeah, that looks AI. Wrong.
Yeah, this is actually
The
creature from the planet in The Enemy Within, otherwise known as a dog with
in a unicorn costume with antennae. Sulu was holding
You
it
got
at
me
the
on a
beginning.
technicality. I thought it was from 4. I was like, I don't remember this in 4.
Oh, no. We're,
No.
I know it's a Star Trek question mark.
yeah,
There's
well,
no number.
we're going to keep it to the original series sort of thing, the original cast, since we're not going to, I mean, definitely in the future, we are going to be doing stuff with TNG and all sorts of everything up to and including Enterprise, at least, I believe.
I don't think we should do Enterprise. That's not Star Trek.
Well, we'll definitely, we do like TNG, Voyager, and
Deep Space Nine.
Deep Space Nine was great. The endings for Voyager and Deep Space Nine were like,
Yeah.
they were such a good series. You just didn't want them to end.
They should have done more with the endings. They worked like you knew those characters, and I felt like they needed a better send off than what. I don't know why they were.
I haven't
so
found
rushed.
too many shows that ended in a way that I liked.
Right.
Maybe I
Yeah.
just have weird expectations of the ends of shows, but most of them disappoint me.
Avatar: The Last
too.
Airbender ended well.
That one, I must say, had a phenomenal.
Now I
ending.
really got to watch it.
Oh, Mike, you will not regret it. I love it, love it, love it. And I mean, I love it so much, I contemplated recreating some of the instruments that they
Ooh,
present.
okay.
And they have some really cool string instruments. Like, I wonder if anyone's built those in real life.
Yeah.
Ooh, a challenge.
A challenge, yes.
You can do it.
Well, anyway, yes, they did use a dog in this episode, but it was a creature from a planet, and they did call it the creature.
All right, I'm going to lick my wounds and move on now.
Okay. Now, how about this?
What? Wait a second. No.
Bill
That's
Shatner.
that's definitely AI.
No.
That's not William Shatner, first of all.
Yeah. Yeah.
No.
This is an AI generation. I did ask for Captain Kirk,
Exactly.
and I got something that looks more like he's off the Love Boat, and
Yes. The
that's not a
love
theremin either. Although I
boat.
would like to have something like that to try that out.
That looks like a weird theremin.
Yeah, like a turntable theremin.
A
That'd be cool.
turntable. Oh, you did ask for a theremin. Okay, I see.
I did say Captain James T. Kirk playing
Whiskey
a
Tango
theremin.
Foxtrot.
How about
Moving
this?
along.
Would this be an alien from Star Trek?
Actually, yes.
I agree.
Very good, very good. This is Baylock.
Yep.
So, this is actually from, I think it was episode 2 or 3.
Yeah, 2 or 3, yeah.
It's
the
pretty
ones
early
that were
on.
Yeah.
Really early, yeah.
But don't let him fool you, he's not a kid. All righty. Is this Leonard Nimoy?
It
Or
is.
AI generation of it?
It must be.
Yes, that is an actual photo of Leonard
Leonard
Nimoy.
Nimoy.
What?
Is this Leonard Nimoy?
No.
What
I
did you
just-
ask for here?
I
a
just moved
picture
right
of Leonard
along on that
Nimoy.
one.
It's just a picture of Leonard Nimoy. I did not ask it with the hand up in a festival of fingers, but that's what it gave me.
Strange.
Can you imagine if the Vulcan salute was like that? Oh, wow.
You know, I can't do the Vulcan salute.
Oh, no.
I've never been able to. Never.
No.
Never.
No, no, no.
If you notice, there is
There's an antenna on his finger.
yeah, it's coming out of his hand.
2 thumbs.
Awesome.
Alrighty. Well, once again, AI got defeated there. Is this William Shatner?
I think it is.
Yes.
Right? That's
Yes,
him
it
today,
is.
no?
Yes.
No, well, he looks older than this now. I mean, now he's in his 90s. This might have been 80s. I don't know, but it was during a pudgy period. Oh,
It is
about this.
Bill.
Would this be Bill and Leonard?
Wait, I can't see
No.
it happening. What is going on? Wait a second.
No, no,
Yes.
no.
Wait.
I know it's a little blurry. I
Yeah.
didn't intend it to be
The
that blurry.
blur is making it look like the Comic-Con symbol behind Leonard Nimoy's head is a part of his head, but it's not. It's behind his head. I think they're at a Comic-Con here. Right?
They are, in fact, at a Dragon Con.
Oh!
Well,
Uh-huh.
one
You
of the
know, a
pictures
bunch
were
of
there.
people told me that I should, like when I was doing craft markets in Miami, that I should apply to Dragon Con because I was making really cool dragonite jewelry. But I think my brother, who used to cover cons as a journalist, has gone to Dragon Con. I think. I don't know.
Well, I mean, they got to hit Orlando, I think, at some point.
Yeah.
And we're about, we're 4 hours away from Orlando, I think.
Oh, yeah, we should do Dragon Con if it comes back.
Yeah, it'd be nicer if they went up to Gainesville. It's
Yeah.
closer.
Yeah, it is closer. Or Jacksonville or Tallahassee.
Yep. So is this a Star Trek spaceship?
That
No.
doesn't look like Star Trek.
No.
You are correct, sir and madam. This is an AI generated spaceship.
Oh, Bayona, I didn't know that. That photo that you showed, Mister, that was the last time Leonard Nimoy and William Shatner were together in the room.
Oh, wow.
Oh,
Aw. Yeah. Big
oh,
aw.
yeah, big aw. not Star Trek. Scott concurs. Oh, wait, is this a
Oh my
Renaissance
God.
fair? Of course, the Renaissance fair is fake. With the Joker there? What the hell? What did you search for?
I just asked for William Shatner and Leonard Nimoy at a Renaissance fair.
That.
I did
no,
not ask
no.
for 2 William Shatners.
And the Joker. Oh, gosh.
Well, that's apparently supposed to be Leonard Nimoy.
No. Sacrilege.
Yeah, really.
Exactly, Bayona.
Really.
Wow. Wow.
Moving right along.
We have nothing to fear from AI.
Not yet.
It is our friend.
Wait, I can't tell. That. Okay, no.
No. No.
I didn't ask for a little bill next to a big bill. Excuse me.
Oh my God.
But
It is a horror, says Bayona.
how about this? Is this an alien from Star Trek?
Yes.
All right. And bonus question. What episode?
Yes. Oh.
Oh my God.
Well,
I'm not that big a Trekkie.
It wouldn't be fair for me to answer because we saw the episode just, I think, yesterday, right?
Oh yeah.
So it's not
I
fair.
haven't watched the original series in a minute, so
We've been kind of watching them again in
We're
preparation
skimming-
for
yeah,
our
we're-
instruments.
Yeah, for the
We're not even.
instruments.
We're watching them straight through. We're not
Yeah,
skimming.
we're not skimming, no.
okay,
But
all
this
right.
is-
Well,
this
you
is
know, you
from-
big Trekkies.
Oh, Eraserhead got it! Oh my gosh!
What?
Yes, he
The man
says
trap.
the salt vampire. It is.
Yeah, from the
salt.
Man Trap. I don't know why
Yeah.
they called the episode that because this.
He also killed women.
Well, he was trying to seduce, or it was trying to seduce Uhura at one point. It formed a guy that spoke Swahili to her, and she's like, "You speak Swahili? Woo!" You know, especially
Yes.
Swahili must be the language of love. You know
Yes, Scott, I agree.
Yep.
what?
You
Yeah.
big Trekkie.
Oh man, well,
I'm going to give you the William Shatner speech from Saturday Night Live. You know,
Oh, what was
when
that?
they did the Star Trek convention. Did you never see that?
No, we've
Oh,
not.
my God.
No, I saw it. I saw it.
Told them to all move out of their parents' basement, get a life.
Yeah,
Oh yeah, he trashed them out.
Why would he do that to his fans?
it was a skit.
It was
on
a skit on Saturday
Live.
Night Live.
Oh, okay. I was like,
And then he
what?
Then he comes at the end and says he was doing the evil somebody out of one of the episodes. But
It was like
Yeah.
Tim Allen in Galaxy Quest.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes. Oh, another good movie. Yes.
All right. So there we go.
Ugh.
No, unless we've moved on to Godzilla.
You know, I don't know.
I want to see if the chat has anything.
What do you think, chat? Is this Star Trek?
Well, wait a minute. Wait a minute.
Could be.
Yeah, actually. Well, at first I thought it was a joke. It was Godzilla, but no, actually, I think it is.
Well, it is a Google search for an image of Star Trek aliens, and this is one that came up, and it does look familiar. I think we did in the past see this episode, but not in our current go around. We haven't gotten to
So
it.
it is
yet.
AI, but
No. It's-
oh,
I didn't, at least I didn't generate it. If somebody else did and put it up.
I remember seeing that alien before.
Yeah.
Yes.
We haven't
Yeah.
gotten to
it
that
was.
episode.
Yeah, we just didn't get back to it yet. Yeah. Then when I see this guy on the show, then I'll be like, yeah, I'll remember
No,
the
I'm
name.
thinking it was in the. Was it in the cage? It was like one of the early ones.
Well, not the cage.
It's not the cage. It was the one where they went back to get him.
Oh, we just saw those last night.
The menagerie.
part
No,
1 and
he's
2.
this guy's not in the menagerie.
Not in.
No.
Well, he's in one of them,
Yeah.
or very close. Very close.
Something that's themed similarly.
Yes, Kirk and the Peace were fighting each other. There was some episode where him and Kirk fought.
Yeah, Scott says Kirk and this piece
Yeah,
will
I'm
find
agreeing
each
with
other.
Scott.
Yeah. So it's real. We'll find out the name and we'll let you know next time.
Or not. No.
Yes, Smug, the music, exactly.
Is this an alien from Star Trek?
That's a no.
No.
Not even Star Trek 6?
No.
Not even Star Trek 8.
Not anything Star Trek.
Nope. Alrighty. Yep. That was an
Not
AI
even the
made.
next generation.
How about this? Is this Gene Roddenberry?
Ooh.
I have no idea what Gene Roddenberry looks like.
I have seen him, but it's been a while. I think that's real. I'm going to go with real.
Well,
I'm
it
gonna
came
go
from a
with
Google
real.
search looking for photos of Gene Roddenberry.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I believe it is real too because it just looks normal. So anyway,
No
at least
extra
I
ears.
didn't make it. But anyway, last one here, and then we'll get back to the film. Last one. How about this, Gene Roddenberry?
Well, he's in a Renaissance suit, so there no. And it doesn't look like the same guy.
No, I don't think so on that one.
No, but it did a pretty good job, I think.
It's
did
pretty
it.
close.
Yeah.
Well, I'm gonna be honest. I just looked up a picture of Gene Roddenberry, so
Yeah.
it's close. But
Yeah, but yeah.
the last one, that was him.
I think the Renaissance Fair costume would be the dead giveaway here. That it's something I would do. So anyway, we are done with the AI for this evening, and now we get to go back to good stuff.
Good
All
stuff.
right. So where did we leave off? I think Spock's test is where we left
Yes,
off.
Spock's test.
Yep.
Yep. And now
Correct.
it switches back to the probe, and see some nice
Robe.
visuals of the probe. And there's the cigar toting a blue ball coming by. And we're back at the Saratoga again, but they're about to lose their lights. And great concern there as you see the lights go out, and you realize, man, they're going to be dead in space. And then they put on the backup lights. So I guess that's battery power. And you see the screen's gone all snowy there. And you're just hoping this guy comes up with something, because the scene ends just looking at him there contemplating. And there we go. The probe does its thing. And the captain is kind of stuck. Yeah, I took pictures a lot.
You did.
Yes.
How do you think they created the probe sound? Did they send like a
The
cat or a ring modulator or something?
Well, we are going to play it later. I mean, yeah, at this point you do hear it in the film, but I selected another part to do the probe sound. Like when they modulate that sound to make it sound like it's underwater.
Modulated whales.
Yes. Oh, that's right. So maybe they did take whale sound and send it in through a ring modulator to make it sound like that.
So that when they take the filters
Oh, I don't know.
off,
I'm
they could
guessing.
sound like a whale
Maybe.
again.
Yes.
I think it's a good educated guess.
Yeah.
Well, anyway, here we see Cisco's dad.
Cisco's dad. A few 2 years early, but yeah.
Yes, I think his name here is Admiral Cartwright.
It was grandpa.
Yep.
Oh yes, yeah. Jake Cisco's grandpa. But then,
Well,
but he ends up being a bad
when
guy.
I say Cisco, I'm not talking about Jake. I'm talking about Commander Cisco.
Commander Cisco.
Yeah, his dad, Jake's granddad.
Right.
Yep. So,
But he turns out to be a bad guy in number 6, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
Well, he just couldn't let go of the, them Klingons, So
Damn
anyway,
Klingons.
he's talking to the president, and it seems like they're already starting to detect some strange things happening. Now, it hasn't all gone downhill just at this point, but they're losing contact with ships, and there we are at the Federation. I don't know, what do you call it? Their emergency room?
I guess.
Command
Broadcast
Central.
Central. Oh, yeah, Command Center.
I
There we
want a
go.
glowing table.
Yeah, it was good tech at the time. And there's an example message they're getting from this gentleman here, who I did find out later was a pro tennis player
Oh,
in the late 80s and 90s. I was watching a match. He was playing Yvonne Lendl, and they mentioned that his claim to fame outside of tennis was he made an appearance in Star Trek 4, and I recognized him then when they mentioned that. So anyway, at this point, he's just having high hopes that their makeshift solar sail will provide them with some power.
because the alien ship is draining the power.
Yeah,
from-
everything that goes by, it basically shuts down power, except for battery backup, I think, because they're able to put on the backup power. But everything else that's like real power is going down. There we go, back at the Bounty on Vulcan. So Kirk's like talking to the crew, seeing if they're all just about ready to go. And talking to Scotty there, where you can see, it's so the audience, I think, can see kind of like the facilities on board. They don't know what they're going to do with them yet, but that's where the whales are going to be eventually. And well, you mentioned something about the Klingon food packs were giving him a bad stomach. So, and then Savick, this is goodbye. I remember that line.
Mhm.
And she tells Jim how his son died. He saved Spock. He saved us all. And
I
you
thought
know.
you should know that.
yes. And so she leaves, and in comes, well, she's about to leave. Here comes the man of the hour, back from the dead. And she says, may you have a trip free of incident. And he says, live long and prosper. So, two Vulcans having parting words. I guess goodbyes are fairly easy for them. So anyway, there we go.
Yeah.
And she's the one that
Good point.
helped him through a pond far.
Yes.
Star Trek 3.
Hence Bayona's comment.
Oh yeah, I mean they didn't show anything, but is it basically generally understood that she had to
Yes.
get busy with young Spock?
Yeah.
Well,
Does that mean they're married in Vulcan tradition? I think it does.
don't know.
I
Don't
rem-
know.
I mean,
Well-
Tuvok mentioned something like that.
Mhm.
So maybe in retrospect, that part of the culture was added to the lore
Yeah,
or to
well,
the universe.
some things were added because you realize, like in these movies, anytime Spock does mind melding, like transferring his Katra to McCoy, he just says "remember," and in other mind melds, like with Sarek, and I think it was Kirk.
Yes.
They don't do the mantra that they started later, which is my mind to your mind to my mind.
Well, maybe it's just like a thing that helps you focus your energy. And it's not required, but it helps.
Okay. All right. Well, whatever. But yeah, things evolve and change over time. So anyway, he's back, and Kirk's like, Jim, call me Jim. So that would be inappropriate to call you Jim. So
Kirk's expression.
So yeah, and McCoy's a little concerned. He's like, back at his post as if nothing's happened. He's not exactly firing on all thrusters. I remember that line.
We'll be fine. And then,
Yeah, well, McCoy has some cause for concern. It's like, you know, he's just back from the dead. So anyway, it's about time to take off, and so they're taking off. And segue to space dock, and I believe that's where we're at. They're starting to get the
now the
interference.
probe is sucking up all their energy.
Yeah, in fact, that's the lights going out inside space dock. So floating around in ships in there.
That, I mean, I could imagine.
Yeah, I would.
That
not
would be
wanna
horrible, horrible, pure darkness. Oh,
Well, especially if you're in space.
yeah,
too.
claustrophobia.
Yeah, it's like this oxygen isn't going to last all that long. Well, it made its way to Earth, and there we go, and we can see what it's doing to Earth. Woof. Look at that.
That's some pretty cool effects right there, man.
Yeah.
For 1986. Ooh.
Yeah. Although they did a pretty good job with the parting of the Red Sea and the Ten Commandments. That was longer. Well, anyway, here we go.
Yeah.
The bounty's on its way. And I don't know. I forget what the lines are, but basically, I think they're estimating how long it'll be. I think it's going to be like an hour and a half or whatever. And then, well, they noticed that there aren't any Federation vessels to give them an escort. They thought that might happen. And of course, that is pronounced by Chekhov properly as vessels. And no Federation vessels in assigned locations. So already something is looking a little mysterious. And Kirk goes over to Uhura and says she's noticing that there's a lot of broadcasts going on, but it's like all muddled and confusing, overlapping
Distress calls.
Yeah. And Spock also is monitoring. Very important distinction there. McCoy says, well, do you mind having a talk? I know you look busy. He's like, Uhura is busy. I am monitoring. And so we have number 4 here.
Oh, yes.
Did we do all 3 of the previous ones?
We did.
Okay.
We did. Now it's time for 4.
Okay. Yes. Okay, good. Vulcan 6. Okay, looks like, because I'm seeing here number 3 was leaving Vulcan.
Just play number 4.
Okay, I guess I missed one. I missed.
We were trying to cover up for you.
All right, let me do this here because I'm not hearing Eliza. There we go. All righty, let us play.
Hi. Busy? Uhura is busy. I am monitoring.
Well, I just wanted to say, sure is nice to have your Contra back in your head, not mine. What I mean is, I may have carried your soul, but I sure couldn't fill your shoes.
My shoes.
So yes, a little awkward discussion here. I decided to include this because, you know, I mean, it'd be something that I'd like to ask somebody that went through that. It's like, what was it like? You know.
And then Spock tells him, we can't have a conversation about
this. We're going
this.
to hear that. We're going to hear that. We're going to hear that.
I get it. Perhaps we could cover a little philosophical ground. Life, death, life, things of that nature.
I did not have time on Vulcan to review the philosophical disciplines.
Come on, Spock, it's me, McCoy. You really have gone where no man's gone before. Can't you tell me what it felt like?
It would be impossible to discuss the subject without a common frame of reference.
You're joking.
A joke is a story with a humorous climax.
You mean I have to die to discuss your insights on death?
Forgive me, Doctor. I'm receiving a number of distress calls.
I don't doubt it.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, there's like great chemistry between those two in this film. A number of different scenes where you see the contrast between the thinking. But yeah,
I
I mean,
think-
I didn't understand that when I was a kid, but then it kind of came to me that, like, yeah, he basically was telling them by saying it'd be impossible to discuss the subject without a common frame of reference. It's almost like you got to go through the same thing too to talk about it. It's like,
That's basically what he's saying.
yeah.
Yeah.
No, just tell me what happened. All right, so here we are, probing, and yes, more weather conditions going downhill. Look at that. Clouds forming, billowing, and here there's some lightning strikes that you could see from space. And then inside they're monitoring the same thing. Weather's going bad. And they're talking about this. Basically, the idea is that, the power will be going down. And at the same time, there's no way we could survive without the sun. So, yeah, that's the bottom line. This guy's cool. This is a Star Trek alien right here. Real one. And we move along. More discussion, and you hear assessments about what's happening at different parts of the planet, and there's basically no good news. So anyway, the president's walking with Sarek and says, "I'm sorry, but it looks like you're stuck here with us." And Sarek says something to the effect of, well, it's hard to give an answer when nobody knows what the question is. Basically, they don't know how to answer the probe, so they pretty much determined that's the thing. It's the probe is sending some sort of signal out, and they don't know what to do with it. And then Sarek suggests, how about you broadcast the emergency call now? Basically saying, planet Earth, not safe, stay away. And yeah, so that's what they decide to do. And fortunately, Uhura catches it. And they check it out. And now they know that there's some bad stuff going on at Earth. This probe is sending out a signal. They can't answer it. They don't know what to do with it, but it's shutting down power to all the spaceships, and we see the looks on everybody's face. Lots of looks of concern. And
Avoid planet Earth at all costs.
yes.
And farewell.
Well, I guess they're not going to be escorting you back. So Kirk sits down and has a little ponder. So does Spock. And McCoy not saying anything there, just kind of giving that look. So Kirk thinks about it and says, all right, Uhura, let's see if you could lock into this probe signal and play it for us. And I think I am going to be playing it for us soon. It's coming up in one of these slides.
Yep.
And there it is. So let us
Number
hear
6.
the probe. And then we can have some discussions about how they may have done it. Wait a minute. 6? Did I miss a 5? You guys are not.
You did not miss a 5, I don't think. I think you just misnumbered it. Let's hear the recording of the probe.
Oh, the probe signal. Oh, yeah, this is a misnumbering. The probe signal is actually 5. I just put a 6 on there. There we go.
Yep.
Okay, so here we go.
I thought maybe you were just doing even numbers.
No, I can't even do them in order.
On speakers.
Spock, what do you make of that?
Most unusual. An unknown form of energy of great power and intelligence. Evidently unaware that its transmissions are destructive. I find it illogical that its intentions should be hostile.
Really? You think this is its way of saying hi there to the people of the Earth?
There are other forms of intelligence on Earth, Doctor. Only human arrogance would assume the message must be meant for man.
You're suggesting the transmission is meant for a life form other than man?
At least a possibility, Admiral. The President did say it was directed at Earth's oceans.
All right, so that was a key pickup there. He
Yep.
picked up on that. But it was directed at Earth's oceans. So that's why you want Spock on your side.
He is Mr. Spock.
Oh, yes.
Yes. That's funny because as we're watching the first season of the original series, Spock at that point was first officer, as well as his rank was lieutenant commander, but they never called him lieutenant or commander, anything like that. They just call him Mr. Spock. It's funny because everyone else, they're addressed by their rank, Well, and then, of course, Bones isn't exactly a rank.
Yeah.
All right, so anyway, let's move on. Yes, and so, yeah.
I
Kirk
seem to
kinda
recall
has-
him saying Mr. Sulu, Mr. Chekhov.
Oh, that's true. Yeah, that's true. That's true.
I think it was just a Kirk thing.
Yeah.
Yep. All right. So anyway, to go over to Uhura, and Kirk decides, well, try taking this sound and running it through some effects compensating for, all these factors of being underwater, solidity, temperature, and all that stuff. And she does. I thought I had a clip of that.
It's like, what would this sound like if you play it underwater?
I had a clip of that, so let me just make sure. I'm going to load it here because I know I did this because I also did take the clip of them transforming the sound because it was really kind of cool sounds there. I believe this will be it here. So let us play that. So far, the condom seems to be working.
I think I have it, sir.
And this is what it would sound like underwater.
Yes, sir.
Fascinating. If my suspicion is correct, there can be no response to this message.
Here we go. So, good thing that Spock's training back on that planet on Vulcan was thorough because they were quizzing him on everything, probably even whales. Sing like a whale. But I tell you, when I hear humpback whale song, yeah, it is very magical, but at the same time, it's almost like I understand how they feel. because I pretty much sound like that, you know, if you were to take my thoughts and put them into sound. Alrighty. So anyway, there we are.
That's deep, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, I pretty much sound like. Mm-hmm. But they left out one sound. I actually, after this movie, I did get a tape of whale song,
Yeah.
and it had a little bit of background music, but it had some recitings from Moby Dick and stuff, and it was narrated by Leonard Nimoy. Um, and there was another sound that they didn't include in this film, but there's also this guttural sound that they make. It sounds like
Yeah, the
yeah.
growling sound.
Yeah. They said, well, we'll leave that out. All right. So anyway, Spock's been doing the research, and he's tracked it down to the humpback whale that have been extinct since the end of the 21st century. So that's the century we're in now, folks. And so, save a whale, save the Welsh. I forget. It's like basically, yeah, Kirk's saying, well, is there any way we could reproduce this sound? And Spock's like, well, if we do that, we don't know the language. We'd just be responding in gibberish. And he's trying to think of any other solution. Are these whales on any other planet? And he's like, nope, just Earth from the late 20th century. So, yeah, Kirk makes the decision that, all right, Mr. Spock, make your calculations for time warp. And McCoy's like, now just hold on a damn minute.
Yeah, it's his favorite line for everything.
Well, that's what he does best.
Yes. Well, there we go. We're back on Earth. Things are really going downhill fast. They even got water on some of the screens here. You see them wiping them off with rags, and they're reinforcing the windows there and stuff like that. And red alert is on the screen there. And back here on the ship, Kirk's already thinking fast. He's like, all right, do you think you'd be able to enclose this area and seal it off? I guess Scotty's like, yeah, we could probably do that. What's going on? We're getting some whales. And he said humpbacks. And Scotty's like, humpback people? It's like, no, whales, Mr. Scott, whales.
Nobody had explained the plan to Scotty yet.
Well, he got his first
Engineer is
explanation.
always the last to know.
Oh, poor Scotty, and they expect so much from him all the time.
He is the miracle worker.
Yes.
Anyway, this is a little bit of info for the audience. They're like, basically, he thinks Kirk's crazy, but he's like, so sure, you can go around the sun, slingshot around the sun with a heck of a speed, and you're in time warp. But if you don't, you just miscalculate, you get fried. But they're going to do it anyway. They have no option. So Spock's just finishing up his calculations, and we're back here. Golden Gate Bridge never looked better.
Remember, Bones is the one that didn't like transporters.
Yes.
That's right.
I
I
don't
don't
think
think
I'd
he
like
ever
him either.
did, but in the beginning, he wouldn't. Remember, he'd take the shuttle over.
Well, that was in the motion picture. Yep.
Yep. But I don't think he ever liked them.
They paid a little homage to that when they had that Dr. Pulaski in The Next Generation.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
2.
You know,
Season 2.
I don't think a single person liked the character of Dr. Pulaski, to be honest with you.
I think Mr. Brown had the hots for her, though.
Aha!
Oh gosh. Well, that explains a lot. But goodness gracious.
Well,
It's that she was always antagonizing Data, and
yeah,
for
well, that's
no
what McCoy would
reason.
be like. I think they were trying to say, well, you know how McCoy used to be kind of, you know, having difficulties with Spock. What we're going to do is have Pulaski having difficulties with Data, but it didn't come through the same way. It wasn't
No.
as.
And she was temporary anyway, wasn't she? Wasn't the original the one that played Beverly Crusher? Wasn't she actually pregnant?
Yeah, Gates McFadden. Yeah.
Yeah,
Well, that I believe that's generally that's what Liza told me is that she took season 2 off because
I
of
think that's why.
pregnancy, but
Yeah.
I don't
yeah.
know. I've heard some other people say that there was other things, or I don't know.
Well, she
Yeah.
came back.
Well, yeah,
Wesley
good.
was glad.
Yeah. We were all glad too because I don't know a single Trekkie who liked Dr. Pulaski. Except for maybe Mr. Brown, but that's another story.
You know, and what's weird is probably my least favorite was Wesley Crusher, even
Yeah.
though he was so important.
That's pretty common.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I don't know. I just,
yeah, he was a bit annoying, and then to see him leave the series by becoming almost like some truly powerful being, you know, with that, what was that guy called, the
Oh
Traveler?
yeah,
The
yeah.
only
It had its campy moments. All in all, I liked it.
yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
I mean,
I
Picard,
think
come on.
yeah. I mean, I think the only interesting thing about Wesley Crusher was his relationship to Captain Picard, that he was kind of a surrogate father to him,
Mm-hmm.
and they kind of developed that very well in the series.
And a
And
lot of that had to do with Patrick Stewart.
yes, with Patrick Stewart, but
Yes.
other than that, I always found him to be a little pedantic, you know.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I mean, there were good moments, of course,
Sure.
but he was no Data, that's for sure, man.
No Data, no. No.
No.
No.
Anyway,
Anyway, yeah, back to
Oh,
Kirk
Scott
broadca-
Hovit. Wait, Scott, is this new lore from
We'll put it
stuff
up on
they're
the screen.
okay? Scott Hovit says that Q came from Wesley Crusher. So is this part of the? Was this hinted at in the
So
new series?
after Crusher got his powers, he went back in time and created Q or something.
Oh no! I'm sorry. He said Q came for
Came for
Crusher.
him.
Okay. Sorry, I read that wrong. Sorry, Scott.
because the
Q
Q thought he was the only one on board that had the intelligence worthy of a Q. Am I in the ballpark there, Scott?
Maybe. Well, I mean, but he left the show because of that guy Traveler from
The
season 1,
Traveler,
right?
yeah.
Well, yeah. That was later, but the Q came for him and made some comment, as I recall. It's been a long time since I've seen it. That basically he thought Wesley was the only one of intelligence on the ship worthy of Q status.
Right.
Yeah.
I don't know about that, but
Well,
I don't agree with it. I'm just saying what Q said.
the thing is,
I'm paraphrasing, of course.
well, going back to like inconsistencies and stuff, like in the first couple of episodes where McCoy shows up, he uses the transporter without a problem. Remember, he was up and down
yeah,
the
they
transporter
added
in
that.
that pleasure planet.
They added that as they went on.
Yeah, so
Oh yeah,
they wanted to make him more neurotic moving
Well,
forward.
they were developing the characters, like in a lot of
Yeah.
things that at first Spock was used a little differently than eventually how he
yeah.
was used eventually.
Well, remember they were canceled after the first season. The fans
Okay.
brought him back.
Oh, really?
Yeah, you didn't know that?
No, I didn't know that.
Yeah, they were canceled, but there was such an uproar from the fan base, they brought it back. But I mean, it only lasted 3 seasons.
Yeah.
So,
But those were pretty good seasons because they had like 20 some episodes per season. Not like TV today. It's like 8 episodes is what you get in a season.
oh
Scott,
yeah.
Scott, I agree with you. It's like, yep, I didn't agree that, Wesley was the smartest thing ever, but it was a way to get rid of Crusher. I guess get rid of the character from the program.
Yeah.
Well,
Also, they could have killed him off too.
but that would have been sad for Beverly Crusher. And how do you reconcile that in an episode or two? I don't know.
Well, all right. Well, maybe not kill him off. How about how about send him to that planet, the menagerie, and have him just be living in an illusion the rest of his life? All right. Let's move on here. Kirk is basically explaining the plan of what they're going to do, just broadcasting it out there. But the signal's getting lost, and he's like, "Get him back!
Get him back!"
Get him back!" And then, oh no, the window goes kablooey, and Sarek is there staring out the window, and this is basically,
But not having any feelings.
But
I said,
this moment is important to remember because they do come back to this moment.
they do.
They do. In time. And so we are going to hide that one because we're going to be moving on to the next one here. But I do want to quickly show something. Now, this is going to be brief. Don't worry, this will not take long. But as I was mentioning, there was a mention of Mike Gorley by kind of misunderstanding on B-Sides on Friday. And that's because Stupenzo said Mike Gorley when he actually meant Mark Gormley. So what we're going to take a
That name
look
sounds
at,
familiar for some reason.
well, we're going to see why you're glad you're not Mark Gormley.
Okay.
I thought I'd share this. What is this? Here it is. And, okay. Now I need to tell it to go to here. So we are about to see
UZTV.
Yes, this is what Stupenzo sent me. So here we go.
Okay.
Sorry.
The space happy Phil Thomas cat here. And this next music video is by singer-songwriter Mark Gormley. This is a great song. It's very, very intense. And we tried to make the music video that way as well. Here's Mark Gormley and Without You on the Uncharted Zone.
I like it.
You do?
I mean, it's wacky. But the music and the guy with he's singing, but he has no expression is brilliant.
All right, here we go.
Wait, what's his following like?
Oh, well, hold on. We'll just get a little more and then
The music isn't bad.
Sounds kind of 80-ish.
Yeah. Oh, it's brilliant.
Well, if you you like his voice, then I don't know. I'm not sure if I can put much stock in your comments about mine.
Well, it's his voice in combination with the music. It's kind of like the squirrel guy from what is that band, Mister? The squirrel voice.
No.
I mean,
She
at
thinks-
least when my voice
No,
went,
when
I
she
had
says
the.
squirrel guy, she's actually referring to AC/DC. What's his name? It's
Angus Young?
Yeah.
He doesn't sing.
Oh no, no, that's right. Who did sing?
Brian Johnson, I think.
Brian Johnson. Yeah, that's it.
Brian
That's-
Johnson can sing compared to this.
She calls him Squirrel Guy. Anyway.
I don't know, Mike. He sounds like a squirrel.
I said compared to this guy.
Oh well, but the thing is,
No,
This
he's
guy has
no.
20
I mean,
points.
I'm not saying that the vocals are brilliant. I'm saying it fits the song that he wrote, and
it's comedic. Is what-
and the song is catchy. I like the vibe, and the video's perfect for it. You know, that with him just kind of.
I don't know if I want to
separated
know.
from-
I don't know if I want to know how many subscribers he has.
25.7 thousand.
Jesus
Ooh.
Christ. That makes me want to, that makes I don't know if I should say this on YouTube, but that
We got-
makes me want to,
Oh, no, you know what? But
I
I
mean-
don't know. I don't know. I'll stand by my thing
Well,
here.
here's one thing
like
I'm wondering:
it.
is
I
this
like it.
a sincere effort?
No,
where this guy,
I'm
where this guy is
I'm
like
making
trying to hit a
comparisons
target, but
now.
he's way off. Like, is this like a sincere attempt, or is he really on purpose trying to just be kind of lame?
Yeah, this seems almost comedic to me. I guess I'd have to watch other videos, but
Yeah, to get the
it's
no,
almost
to
like,
get the full context. Yeah, but I think even as a standalone thing.
but I'm
it-
sorry, I don't take this as like I try not to be egotistical, but I don't take this as serious. I think
Well,
what I
no,
do is
I mean,
serious.
I'm not either. I'm definitely
Yeah,
not
I think what
either.
I do is more serious, more complex
Oh
music.
no! I was just
Yeah,
saying.
and
definitely.
here I sit barely over 100.
Nobody was making a comparison like, oh, Mike Gordon.
Oh, I know. I am. I'm making the comparison.
Yeah, no, but yeah, I mean,
Yeah, I'm
obviously-
just saying it blows my mind
Well-
how people can, and there's some utter shit out there. And these people got, 1 million followers. And then there's somebody doing something serious, and barely, struggling to get a 100 viewer, or 100 subscribers. It's just insane
what-
how YouTube works.
when they were talking about
I'll
that
get
on
down
the
off my
show,
pedestal
I
now.
mean, it was pretty. it kind of over time it became obviously they were talking about different people because when they originally said, yeah, it's got some weird music videos, they were thinking weird in a good way, not weird like this. Because
well,
like
to
with the
give the
fractals and-
to give the guy a chance, we haven't seen his other work, and
oh man.
but the thing is, for what it is, I found it
Well,
enjoyable.
wait a minute. This may not be his channel. This is
No, not his channel. No, so that's the radio guy's channel. So that's the guy with the 25,000 subscribers.
Yeah, but
Okay.
that radio guy had to think, well, what am I doing here?
Look, like I said, he probably knows this guy's other work, and knows the context under which this work was produced. So we don't know. We don't know.
Let's see here. Is there any other Mark Gormley?
All I'm getting is this the uncharted zone.
No, the woman.
Wait, but maybe in the video description box it has a link to his channel.
No, look at these. All these results. It seems to be him and that radio guy and everything.
The flamboyant
No, that's
Phil
not the
Thomas cat here.
No, it's the same.
My
a
good friend
different
Tommy
man.
Robinetti here, and I've got a great music video for you, and I like the tune. I like the animation in it as well.
Ooh, guys, I'll
Really,
be back.
yeah.
The cat's
Well,
tapping on the window.
Let's take a look at it. This is Mark Gormley and Little Wings. It's another summer re-entry.
It's Mark Gormley again.
Oh, shit. The dude's dead.
Oh,
There's a comment down here that says 7 months ago from whenever this was put out,
oh,
which was 2008. So he's been long gone.
well,
He passed. Oh, no. Here it is. Gormley passed away on May 24th, 2024 at the age of 67.
wow. Yeah, and that's pretty young
Yep.
for these days.
All right. Well, I'm not going to say anything bad about him anymore then.
No.
No, I mean, for what we don't know what he was trying to accomplish. So, you
Yeah.
know, but it seems more comedic to me.
Yeah, it seems like it was tongue in cheek.
Yeah.
In a way. But yeah. Well, anyway, let's go back to Star Trek. I guess we won't.
Yeah, now that you got me all worked up. Sorry, viewers.
Were you able to find more of his work? Sorry, I had to step out because.
Yes, but unfortunately, we also found out he passed away in
Oh.
2024.
Oh no!
So that I think we're gonna get back to Star Trek now and not. But yeah, I kind of think it was somewhat of a tongue-in-cheek thing, or maybe the guy knows that you know his presentation is a little bit awkward and stuff, but he's like, "What the hell," you know?
I
do
think
it.
he was. I think the awkwardness, to be honest with you guys, was intentional.
Yeah.
It
Well.
is part of the art of that piece.
Well, isn't
Okay.
that a nice spaceship there?
Yes, we are
Okay,
about
we'll
to go
get
back to the
get back
20th
to Star
century.
Trek.
We're
Yeah,
in
got to go to
time-
bed sometime tonight,
Oh
Yeah.
yes.
All right.
or else
yes,
we'll
we
have a
are-
part 3.
Oh, gosh.
Oh, okay. So yes. Anyway,
Oh no.
we part 2 should be enough. But anyway, we are basically about to go back in time. Have you done the calculations? And of course, Spock is talking about, all right, well, there's some differences here because we're in this Klingon vessel, and he had to make a number of adjustments and stuff. And Kirk asks, like, you did all that from memory? And Spock's like, yes. And of course, McCoy's over there like, wow, that's fantastic. And you did all that from memory, huh? Yeah. And I don't know, there was probably more lines here because I kept taking pictures of them going back and forth, but I don't remember them. So that's why we were watching too much Star Trek, the original series this week, instead of, watching this to remember the lines better. But
Yeah, if it were Star Trek 5, I'd be able to do the whole thing, but not this one.
But anyway, it makes McCoy say at the end, something about angels of grace protect us or something like that. He's really concerned because he doesn't think Spock's all that well. And man, I wish I remembered the lines. I just did them last night. So anyway, we're gonna head out here and warp away. So he tells Sulu, begin acceleration to warp speed, and there we go. And we do have a clip coming up here. Sulu's announcing the numbers: warp 1, warp 2, warp 3. They're building tension. And when he gets to warp 9, it's 9.1, 9.2, 9.3, and things are falling off of things there. The whole place is rattling and shaking. Oh, some vents explode. And Uhura says, I'm okay, but basically there's like all this steam coming out here. And finally, we get to behold this the proper way. Rather than me doing play-by-play, we're going to have something to hear. Okay.
And it's
share.
number 7,
And it's 7.
following number 6.
Yeah. I think I learned numbers again.
never have left.
I have no control, sir. The mains are down, sir. Ox power is... My God, Jim, where are we?
But it is the human thing to do.
Mission? Spock, you're talking about the end of every life on Earth.
All right. So that is what you experience when you go into time warp.
Always wanted to
guess-
know that.
Yes. One thing that always kind of confused me is at the end when you see it looks like a pond with some reeds and an explosion next to it or something like that. I'm wondering, what's that? I mean, I understood kind of the symbology of other things. It's some lines from the movie, and you see the heads almost like statue
Maybe it
heads
has to do with our body is made up mostly of water.
Yeah, maybe.
Don't know.
Don't know. I was thinking, someone
Ask
said
Spock.
maybe it's the park. And it's like, well, they're not at the park yet. They're still. So I don't know. But anyway, some sort of symbolism in there. And there we are. Kirk is coming to after this experience. And he gets Sulu to wake up and Sulu says, firing thrusters have fired, or braking thrusters have fired. So I guess we might be here. Let's kind of check out if we are. And they see, well, it looks like the Earth. And Spock says, according to the pollution content, it looks like we are in the late 20th century, but it's impossible to pinpoint the exact year or date. And he does recommend, however, that we are probably visible to the tracking systems at the time. And so Kirk asks for Chekhov to engage the cloaking device, which they do. And that's when Sulu says a strange line that I like to use now and then. We are crossing the Terminator into night. And I was wondering, why did you say that? What does that mean? Yes, Chekhov to put on the cloaking device, not you. So anyway, there we go. And I'm not sure exactly here, but there basically are, Uhura does find some humpback whales, and she says they're straight ahead in San Francisco. And that's unusual because that's a city, but they're going to lock in on them, and they do actually play a little bit of the whale song there as they lock in on them and say, okay, well, let's go ahead and land if we can, but there's an emergency. Mr. Scott says, yeah, I think you better come down here. And it's these damn Klingon crystals. They're just not made out of, they're not made out of good dilithium, man. It's like, they're just, the lower standard, and basically all that warping drained them. And Kirk's like, is there any way we can re-energize them? He's like, no, we can't even do that in the 23rd century. But as they head out, Spock does come up with an idea. He said that they played around with nuclear fission in the latter half of the 20th century, and perhaps we would be able to find one of the nuclear reactors that they had at this time and somehow take that radiation, and that somehow, well, he said photons, or somehow that's going to help our dilithium crystals. So we might be able to re-energize them that way. And Kirk's like, where are we going to find them? And Spock says they were frequently used in naval vessels. So now we're hovering over San Francisco, about to land. And Sulu mentions, I was born there. And McCoy says, it doesn't look all that different. So they are going to settle down in the park, Golden Gate Park. And a little bit of talking there about, these are rather primitive people. No doubt many of their customs will take us by surprise. And so forth. They tend to be a little bit violent, so you're going to want to take it easy. And then he points out, it goes without saying that they probably never have seen an alien before. Of course, they didn't do their research because there's plenty of people around right now that have seen aliens. So anyway,
Move along.
yeah, Spock.
Move along.
Moving right along.
Well, your mother saw some glowing stuff.
She did. She did. And
So
she has it
anyway.
on video.
Yeah,
Maybe we'll
anyway.
have the video on earworms.
maybe we will.
Ooh.
Oh, yes. Oh,
Yes.
yes. Oh, quick side story about that. So,
Oh. All right. We'll go back here.
so for when we moved to North Florida, we didn't know about the wildlife that was up here, and we live out in the boonies. We are in the wilderness practically. And a few times I have gone out at night out to the porch, and I have string lights on the porch, and it illuminates, I guess our front yard area. And especially when it rained, I would see these blue orbs appear in the grass, and they kind of shimmered, iridescent blue orbs, small iridescent blue orbs, and I would see them on plants. I would see them mostly in the grass, though. And I'm like, I call my mom, and it's like, is that what? No, she goes, no, it's completely different. She finally did send me the video. It was something different, but it's like, she's like, yeah, that's very interesting. And it wasn't an effect of the rain or anything, because they were iridescent. They would kind of move. And so anyway, fast forward, how many years have we been here, mister?
4 in February.
Okay, fast forward 4 years, and my cat Joser failed to show up for dinner one day, so I went out with a flashlight. This was recently, to look for him. He's back, by the way, so no worries. Went out with a flashlight, and I shone. How do you say? Well,
shone the flashlight.
I shone the flashlight into the grass, into the plants, and I saw the orbs. And I'm like, man, I'm going to approach them to see if I can finally get a good look at what these orbs are. You know what they were? Anyone in the chat can guess what they were?
Aliens.
That's a good guess, Mike. It's a good guess. Do we still have people in the chat? No, it's just us.
Oh,
Three of it. Anyways.
I think Mark Gormley.
Oh, wait, no. Oh, Scott Hovitt. You are correct. Eyes. Eyes from what, Scott?
Cats.
They were too small to be cat eyes. They're like...
raccoons?
No.
No raccoons?
Well, the thing is, with the flashlight, when I went out, these blue orb lights were everywhere. There was thousands of little blue orb lights. They were on the ground, on plants, and I would shine them into our oak grove in the front. I would see them there as well, on the ground mostly. Well, I decided that I was going to take my flashlight and approach one of these lights. It turned out to be the ultra reflective eyes. Good guess, Scott. No, they were smaller than frog's eyes. Of wolf spiders.
Oh my gosh.
And
Hmm.
I have declared myself the queen of the arachnids now because there are thousands of those. And the reason their eyes are reflective is because they're hunting spiders. They do not make webs, so they have very good eyesight. So when they see you, they bugger off very, very quick. But the thing is, I was able to approach one, and one, it did not move out of the way. It was a tiny wolf spider, and I did some research, and they can grow up to the size of tarantulas. But
Yeah, they're big spider.
very beneficial spiders because they eat black widow, which we also have on our porch. I've killed a few black widow. And so they eat harmful spiders and ticks and other things that are, but they're all over the place. And I think they make little burrows in the ground, so you don't see them in daytime. But I finally found out what those blue orbs were. It's thousands and thousands of wolf spiders.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yes.
Well,
Interesting.
Scott Colvin's like, oh, keep those then. Yeah, I'm definitely keeping those. Yeah.
What I'm going to do is we are at slide 59 right now. I'm going to finish this set of slides here, and then we're going to save like our community theater and some of these scenes that are coming up for when we do part 2, which will probably be in 2 weeks because next week I think we do have a guest artist. We'll confirm with him, and if he is confirmed for next week, we'll have our guest artist, and we'll finish this film the week after.
Is this the synth player, the
Yeah,
keys
Isaac,
player? Okay.
Isaac Young of PX3 and Mono Means One. Yes.
One of Gabriel's friends or
No, the
colleagues.
bass player, John.
Okay. Cool.
He plays in John's band.
Okay.
And I'm trying to get John too, eventually.
All right. All right.
Yeah. So,
For those drummers out there, I will have a drummer for you. Hopefully in the next month or so.
We gotta definitely take these meetings with artists whenever we can, because their time, it's at a premium, basically.
Well, yeah, they're out playing music.
Yeah, well, so is ours, but in any case, we are going to finish up here and save some of the good bits for part 2, because I looked at things, and Scott's hanging out with us, but a lot of the folks from definitely the UK folks have gone to bed. I think I think I was a little bit slow tonight. I need to move a little bit faster.
Yes.
And so anyway, Spock is going to take care of this problem. And as you see, he just does the famous thing of ripping a piece off of his robe. McCoy gives it a good look. And there we are. Problem solved. We just covered the pointy ears, and now he's incognito. And, of course, a little bit of smiles from the crew. Good acting, good facial acting there. And, all right, so there we go. And I think this is where he actually mentions, these people can be a little bit violent and stuff, so we're going to have to be careful here. And we see there's some trash collectors there doing their job, cleaning up the park. And it gets a little bit windy. And looks like something landed on that trash can, but you can't see it. That would be the Klingon vessel. And so these guys, I remember he was just telling a story about a problem with his wife and stuff. And I'm not buying you a new toaster oven, but then all the wind and stuff picked up, and they're like, oh boy. As soon as they see this, which we have not yet seen. We haven't seen anything as interesting as this yet up here, but hopefully one day we might. And there we go. I see the bridge coming down and everything. So they're like, did you see that? He said, nope, and neither did you. Hey, head on out. So anyway, here we are. The folks are coming down the runway, and the famous line, remember where we parked? Hold on. I missed something there. That's right. Number 8. We are going to include number 8 now. Video share, please. And we go over here because we have some music here. Let's go back to the 80s.
Oh, wow.
You watch where you're going, you dumbass!
Well, a double dumbass on you!
Oh, one of my favorite lines. I don't know if I've ever used that in real life, God.
I don't think so.
Would be cool to try it one day and see if the person knows what I'm referencing.
It's a miracle these people ever got out of the 20th century. They're still using money. We gotta find something. Spock, the rest of you stay here. And the rest of you break up. You look like a cadet review.
Did the composer also write this music?
I have no idea.
Or was it another guy?
It could have been a pop sound that they used in the soundtrack, you know?
Yeah. Doesn't sound like the
I don't
composer.
think Leonard Rosenman...
Sounds like Starsky and Hutch or something.
Yeah, it's probably stock music, too. It could be that. It sounds like Lady Hawk.
Oh, no!
Oh, no. Yeah. Oh, gosh.
All right, so here we are. Kirk is pawning
the watch.
Karate
it's
Kid
glasses.
Spock. I love that, Scott.
It's actually glasses. The glasses that McCoy
That's right.
gave
It
him.
was glasses.
And Spock mentions that. Aren't those a birthday present from McCoy? And he's like, yes, and they will be again. That's the beauty of it. Well, you're basically closing off the loop here. Yeah, you receive, well, who knows? Whatever. Timey-wimey. But
Yeah.
he's going to offer him
Wrong
$100
series.
for it. $100. And Kirk's like, is that good? And the guy's like,
Yeah. Was $100 in the 80s?
no, it was pretty good. You know, I guess what he's saying is like, you know.
Well, maybe not in California, but
I mean, but the thing is, it's considered an antique, and maybe it's
At least
like
he's being honest. He's like,
Yeah.
could be better, could be worse.
yeah,
Yeah.
because it's like an antique. Maybe you could do better, but the lenses aren't intact. You know, I don't know what we were supposed to gather from that, but in any case, he splits up the money, and they're all.
well, what I gathered at the time, well, when watching the movie, is that $100 wasn't a lot in the 80s.
Well, it's all depends. I mean, remember in the '80s, I was a kid.
Yeah, so I'm saying, I
would've been good for me.
I wouldn't know. I mean, did $100 go further in the 80s? Would that have been, something that my parents could do a lot with?
Well,
when they
you
went
could
to
buy
the
3 or 4
supermarket?
Transformers, you know.
Transform.
or if you think about it, 15. Let's see, you might be able to get like 6 CDs. You know, I mean, I got to think in terms of, I was a kid then, so I mean, definitely, it certainly this day and age,
Yeah,
you
that's
can't even
not-
get like 3 or 4 days worth of groceries for 100.
No.
It's like, damn.
Yep, that's
But
why.
remember, like maybe 5 years ago, you would. But
Yeah. Inflation has skyrocketed immensely.
well, anyway, they're going to make the money last as much as they can. No splurging. Everyone has their assigned tasks, what they're going to work on, and we will see them going about their tasks. But Spock and Kirk are going to be looking for the whales. And so Spock decides to use this map and telemetry readings from Uhura, but Kirk is an observer and notices this fine ad on the side of the bus. He mentions that to Spock, a pair of humpback whales at the such and such center. I forget what it was called, but such and such center has George and Gracie. So, how did you come to that? Simple logic.
He read it off the side of a bus.
Yes. Well, they go in the bus, but they're
Observation.
They pretty soon have to come out of the bus because they don't have exact change.
Oh.
But they're going to try again, so don't you worry. All righty. This is the end of this set of slides. The next set, we are going to begin with some of the really juicy, funny scenes. I do have about 100 more that I was going to do tonight, but I have a feeling that our Mike Gorley here would probably benefit from getting to bed. And I was looking at also the stream, and we have Eraserhead and Scott with us, but I think just about everybody else has had to head out. It's getting late, so
Well, what we could do, Mister, is have like a summary from this point to the point we do the community theater.
or we could just pick up from this point the next time. I think that's better.
To be honest, we don't need so much detail.
Well, the next slides are some of the good bits, and I want to do them. So
No, I agree. We should do the good bits.
Yeah, I know, but what I'm saying is right about now, I think we should call it a night. So Mike can
Oh,
get
for
some
sure.
sleep.
I agree. I'm just saying the next time when we commence this, we should focus on getting to the good bits faster. So maybe we need to summarize more.
Yeah, and maybe we don't need stories about wolf spiders and glowing blue orbs and all that stuff. Yeah,
But the asides are
you
great.
dish it out to me, I can dish it right back at you. If you want to move along a little faster.
The asides are what
Let's
make
ask
a
Mark
live
Gorman
screen
what he
great.
thinks.
Exactly. We got some publicity. So.
Well, Mark Gormley, unfortunately, is no longer with us.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
Okay.
So but anyway, that's something. It's a good thing to check out before you decide. Okay, let's roast this guy. I wasn't even deciding to roast him because actually, the thing is, I was.
Oh,
I was
Mike.
listening to it and I was thinking, this has got to be somewhat comical, and it is. Like between the
maybe
radio
maybe
guy,
a little less of
between the
crazy
radio
guys
guy
on
and him, I think
soap
it was
boxes.
a skit. I think between the radio guy and him, it was a skit.
Yeah.
Because all the other things, like when I searched his name, all the other things also had that radio station, that U2 logo on it. I think that was a skit. I don't think.
Well, the thing is, I think Stupenzo, he needed to look into the guy more and check out the context of the composition before making comments, because we don't know.
Stupenzo in this, I don't.
We don't know what the intention of the composition was, and that's important to know.
Yeah, well, I mean, I don't think he was claiming to say what the intent was. It's just
But how
it's a
did he?
little weird.
How did Stupenzo run into?
I don't know.
He was just surfing,
I don't know.
or it came up on his internet
He
feed.
didn't tell a story about it. He just mentioned
Aw.
it, but instead of saying Mark Gormley, he said Mike Gorley.
He sent some. He might have sent some people to Mike's channel unintentionally. It's like, oh, did you get new subs recently, Mike?
Well, I don't know if I got them from that. I've had one or two. I've been growing slowly but surely.
There we go.
So,
You could
who
thank
knows?
Stupenzo.
Yeah, there you go. I mean, what the hell?
Stupenzo, I'm not judging you, Stupenzo. I'm just wondering how did you run into this guy's channel? It's interesting. That would be an interesting story.
Well, remember he's one of the B-sides.
Yeah.
He's in that group, and they love to look for some bizarre stuff.
Cool
And that's just
beans.
the thing. Yep, we're at 114 with Mike.
Yeah.
It was at 112 last week, so a couple of subscribers over the course of the week isn't bad, especially for music channels, because the algorithm does not favor the music channels.
The algorithm doesn't favor anyone creating honest
Yeah, the
art.
algorithm likes, people that get into drama and controversy and all that stuff.
Yeah, but it's not worth
And partial
building
nudity.
a channel on that. Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
anyway,
so if I watch this Avatar Last Airbender, am I coming in the middle of something, or am I going to be able to watch it from there?
well, if you watch it, season 1, episode 1 is usually a good place to start,
How
Well, no,
many
I
seasons
meant-
they have?
But I got the feeling it's a series, the Avatar,
No,
right?
there's just different. Well, yeah, but this is the story. This is the first story.
Okay, so
from
there's 3 seasons of this, and I'm good to watch that. It's
Yeah.
on Paramount, which
Yeah.
I happen to have. So
Okay.
Wait a second. It isn't the CGI version, is it? Because there's a new one that came out recently.
no, I don't know.
This is Mike. This is a cartoon, an anime series.
Is there a year?
Yeah,
What
yeah,
year is it?
it's animated.
What
Okay,
year?
then that's if it's animated like
I don't know. I closed it.
late
I just put it
90s.
in my watch list.
If it's early 2000s, you're good. I mean,
Yeah.
The thing is, there was remakes and there was like a film, and they just
Yeah.
weren't
no.
Remakes of animation.
Well, yeah,
Yeah.
live action remakes. You know how like they even have live action versions of the.
Well,
Lion
no.
King
This
and
is
all that
this
crap.
looks animated, completely animated.
Okay.
Right.
Yeah, then that's
But I just
probably
also
it.
want to make
yeah.
sure it was the
Oh,
right
okay.
one. Because
All
I
right.
don't know. There could be some other knockoff
Yes.
animations nowadays. I don't know. But as long as it's early 2000s, you're good. And yeah, no, you don't need anything before it. It is in and of itself a beginning to end story.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
the thing is, those remakes that have happened since then just don't do it justice.
No, not at all.
Now, at first, it may sound like it's gonna sound a little bit silly, a little bit kiddie and stuff, but in time, as more of the deep topics come up, it is really interesting.
And I think
Yeah, it
it
says
was
2005.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, that's
Yeah.
good.
And I think they through composed the plot because everything meshes together perfectly. The only other series that does that is Babylon 5, and I don't know of any other series that has been written like that. So
All right, well, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for being with us this evening. Scott Eraserhead, thank you for bearing with us and being patient with my journeyings into many things. Next week we will be next week we have a guest artist. And then the following week when we finish this film, we will be more streamlined and we will have some community theater for you. There's a scene.
Good
we'll be
community
acting-
theater, folks.
Yes, we're going to be acting out a scene. And yes, indeed. So anyway, anybody want to say anything before I just say good night?
Good night, everyone.
Okay, I guess that's it.
Y'all come back now. You hear?
yep.
All right.
Watch out for
8:56.
spiders.
We are now leaving the air.